Did you know that in 1938, something fascinating happened that showcases the middle ground fallacy? This event, known as the Munich Agreement, was a diplomatic disaster which occurred when British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain and French Prime Minister Édouard Daladier attempted to appease Adolf Hitler by allowing Germany to annex parts of Czechoslovakia. The middle ground fallacy took place here because both Chamberlain and Daladier thought that by meeting Hitler halfway, they could avoid a full-scale war. As we now know, this attempt at finding a middle ground ultimately failed, as it only served to embolden Hitler and eventually led to World War II. But what exactly is the middle ground fallacy, and how can you recognize it when it happens? In this video, we'll dive deep into this logical fallacy, explore a few studies that showcase its impact, and provide you with real-world examples so you can easily spot it in your daily life. By the end of this video, you'll know how to avoid falling victim to the middle ground fallacy. Hey rational rebels! Welcome to the arena of reason, the very place we train our minds to spot cognitive pitfalls. This is Chris from Critical Conditioning, where we strive for cognitive precision and free our minds from that mental prison. Today, we're delving deep into the middle ground fallacy, a subtle trap that often masquerades as balance and fairness in arguments. It's time to sharpen your analytical skills and see through this common misconception. But before we embark on this enlightening journey, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell to stay updated with our mind-strengthening content. If you find our podcast valuable, consider supporting us through PayPal using the link in the description. Your contribution fuels our mission to empower rational thinking. And don't forget to share this episode with someone you know who might fall victim to the middle ground fallacy. Let's spread the wisdom together. Let's get started. First, let's look at two studies that examined the middle ground fallacy. One study conducted by researchers at Stanford University explored how people perceive compromise and the middle ground in political decision-making. Participants in the study were more likely to support a policy if it was presented as a compromise between two extreme positions, even if the policy itself was no better or worse than either of the extremes. This study demonstrated that the middle ground fallacy can influence our decision-making, leading us to believe that a compromise is inherently better or more reasonable than either extreme. Another study, conducted by researchers at the University of California, Los Angeles, investigated the role of the middle ground fallacy in legal negotiations. They found that negotiators who made an extreme opening offer were more likely to reach a favorable settlement, as the other party would often make a concession to find a middle ground. This finding suggests that the middle ground fallacy can not only sway our personal decisions but also impact high-stakes negotiations where finding the right solution is crucial. Now that we've explored some research on the middle ground fallacy, let's look at 7 real-world examples to help you better understand this concept. Climate change debates. Some people argue that we should take drastic measures to combat climate change, while others deny its existence. The middle ground fallacy occurs when someone suggests that the best solution is to take moderate action, even if that action is insufficient to address the problem. Gun control discussions. The debate around gun control often features polarized opinions on both sides. The middle ground fallacy occurs when someone suggests that moderate gun control measures are the best solution, even if those measures don't adequately address the issue. Abortion debates. Pro-life and pro-choice advocates often have passionate, opposing views. The middle ground fallacy occurs when someone argues that a moderate position, such as allowing abortion only in certain circumstances, is the best solution without providing a valid reason for why that middle ground is the most appropriate. Immigration policy. Some people advocate for open borders, while others support strict immigration controls. The middle ground fallacy occurs when someone suggests that a middle ground policy, such as allowing a limited number of immigrants, is the best approach without addressing the underlying issues. School funding. The debate around public school funding often features arguments for increased funding and calls for austerity measures. The middle ground fallacy occurs when someone suggests that a modest increase in funding is the best solution, even if it doesn't adequately address the needs of the schools. Healthcare reform. The debate around healthcare in the United States often involves arguments for a single-payer system and those advocating for a free market approach. The middle ground fallacy occurs when someone suggests that a hybrid system, combining elements of both approaches, is the best solution without fully addressing the pros and cons of each system or why the middle ground is the most effective. Net neutrality. Advocates of net neutrality argue that all internet traffic should be treated equally, while opponents believe that internet service providers should be able to control traffic flow. The middle ground fallacy occurs when someone suggests that a partial implementation of net neutrality is the best option without a valid justification for why that middle ground is the most appropriate. Now that we've covered some real-world examples, let's discuss how to spot the middle ground fallacy and avoid falling victim to it. One key is to question the underlying assumptions of the middle ground position. Just because a compromise exists doesn't mean it's the best or most reasonable solution. When evaluating a middle ground proposal, ask yourself, is this position genuinely better than the alternatives, or is it just a product of the middle ground fallacy? Another way to avoid the middle ground fallacy is to recognize that some issues may not have a suitable middle ground. In these cases, finding the right solution might involve choosing one of the extreme positions rather than settling for a compromise. By acknowledging this possibility, you can avoid falling into the trap of believing that the middle ground is always the best option. In summary, the middle ground fallacy is a common logical fallacy that can influence our decision-making in various aspects of life, from politics to personal choices. By understanding the middle ground fallacy, recognizing its presence in real-world examples, and learning how to avoid falling victim to it, you can become a more critical thinker and make better-informed decisions. Always remember that the middle ground is not inherently the best solution and that a compromise should be evaluated based on its merits and effectiveness in addressing the problem at hand. So, rational rebels, what do you think about this fallacy? Do you know a story or have an experience of yourself or someone you know who fell for this fallacy? Let me know and share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful or want to help the channel grow. Hit the bell to not miss anything and share the video to spread awareness or send it to someone who could benefit from this episode. Please consider making a donation via the PayPal link in the description. Your support means the world to me and helps create more critical thinkers in this world. Keep your mind sharp, subscribe to become a rational rebel, until the next time we meet in the arena of reason. This is Chris from Critical Conditioning, signing off.